Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have a prelims ki Panchayat session where we are going to analyze and discuss about the UPSC Prelims exam of 2025. And primarily we are going to discuss about the nature and the standard of questions of General Studies paper 1 in the prelims exam. So today we have the team of faculty members from Lukmaan IAS where all the respective faculty members are going to share their opinion about the subject that they teach at Lukmaan IAS. So we are going to start the discussion with Ansari sir. So Ansari sir, welcome to this show. So I would like to know what is your take on the standard of paper and what do you think was the difficulty level of GS paper 1 this year?
A bit more difficult from last year and subjective papers. This students may have found it a bit difficult in eliminating and reaching to a right option. Because some of the questions are highly subjective and it is very challenging also. At times, especially in examination hall, means they may be facing that challenge.
All right. So when we talk about the polity section, the subject that you teach at Lukmaan IAS, so what do you think, what was the nature of the questions and how many questions were asked? Was the paper...
18 questions were asked, although there is no hard and fast rule to clearly demarcate a line. Some of the questions can be clubbed here and there, but I guess 18 questions were asked from polity. And usually this is how it happens. And most of the questions are doable questions.
So if we do a comparison of the polity section with the previous year paper, like last year's paper, so what do you think? Like, was the paper difficult?
The questions were highly direct questions. We said Lakshmikant based questions. But this year they have made questions applied also. And one has to apply a bit of mind while eliminating the options. There are two questions, I guess, they can be eliminated even if you do not know the questions.
All right. So going forward, what do you think, like how should the students structure their preparation of polity subject for the prelims
it's
exam?
Always that they have to be quite electric and very comprehensive because prelims papers are very diverse. There means questions they are from a very diverse range and you have to be very, very comprehensive and systematic.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views related to the entire paper and also of polity section. So now we will interact with Lakshmikant Jaibhai, sir. He is the academic head of Lukmaan IAS. So Lakshmikant, sir, teaches the geography section at Lukmaan IAS. Lakshmi, sir, welcome to Lukmaan IAS, this prelims ke Panchayat. So please share your views on the geography section of the prelims paper.
Yes, good evening everyone. And yes, the geography section was largely doable. And I would say there were some differences since last year. If you see, the questions from the mapping section were more in numbers, both from static and current developments. But this year, 2-3 questions were there asked from the mapping part, and they were largely random of nature and they were not easily attemptable. For example, the equator passes through which of the following water bodies? So only Lake Tanganyika students know about that, but the remaining 2 water bodies, most of the students may not be knowing about that. The regions in news they asked, they were also very, let's say, difficult to attempt. So these, except these 3 questions, I would say that the other questions were attemptable. Also, UPSC has introduced some kind of, let's say, old pattern of asking question from time zones and international date line. This year, 2 questions were asked. Although they were very easy, of course, most of the students learn that in the foundation course of any coaching. And we also teach that in our classroom. But this is the kind of new thing and it shows the importance of dealing with the PYQs while preparing of geography section.
Okay, thank you so much, Lakshmi sir, for sharing your views on the geography section of the paper. Now we are going to discuss about the economy section. For that, we have Mr. Kumar Shivang. He is a faculty of economy subject at Lukmaan IAS. So Shivang sir, tell us about your opinion on the economy section of the prelims paper.
So as far as the economy section is concerned, it was attemptable. But one of the most notable changes this year was calculation based questions, specifically deficit calculation. And if we compare with last year, the questions were on the same pattern. However, in the capital market, if we go about the capital market, bond market, they have gone deep into asking some of the concepts which require bit more understanding. Apart from that, they have gone back to asking questions from budget. This year, 4 questions came from budget. Then one thing that was missing was no questions were asked from forex or balance of payment. And as far as the current affairs was, it was very important. As far as current affair development was there, they asked questions from, say, equity market, how has been the ranking, what is the improvement, whatsoever has been done. And these were the mix of questions, but overall, I would say that questions were highly attemptable, and there was no ambiguity. Like last year, there were certain questions which were highly, you could say, there was a certain haziness in the answers. But this year, I found it that there was crisp, and the definitions and all those explanations were quite good. So I would say it was quite attemptable.
All right. So how many questions were there from the economy section?
So again, there was a mix of contemporary and current questions also. All in all, I would say 17 to 18 questions were asked, and they were quite attemptable, I would say, in the way, and it required basic understanding also, as far as some of the questions like capital budget. These were basic things that you required right from NCERT. That is very important to know.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your views. Now we are going to discuss about the environment and ecology section. For that, we have the Sumanjit Kaur with us. She is a faculty at Lukmaan IAS. She teaches environment and ecology section. So Sumanjit ma'am, so share your views related to environment and ecology section.
Well, if I talk about this section, last year itself UPSC had indicated they will be asking questions more and more from the applied part. So that did reflect here also. Questions were more application based, more in-depth understanding of the technologies, basically the solutions to the environmental problems that we are facing. That has been reflected largely in our paper. And apart from this, if we compare it with the last year, where students were like concerned, they might have been concerned with the species related. So this year there was just one question from that portion. In comparison, they have increased the weightage from the other sections. Like we said that there is planetary crisis, right? Triple planetary crisis going on. And in that way, we had covered the classes also. So questions did come from that section. Climate change, pollution. So these are the practical problems which our Earth is facing, and we saw the questions from that. So, however, I would say if we see the level of difficulty for students, it was a difficult attempt from the environment and ecology section. Only those who were regularly reading the newspapers and also analyzing the things, not just mugging up the things, interlinkages, if you know how to develop that, then you are on the safer side in this exam.
So if we do a quick comparison of the last year's paper with this year's paper, what do you think? Like, has the difficulty level increased or it has gone down, or it is the same?
More or less same, or for ones who are who have been focusing more on the static part, for them it might be a challenging one.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your views. Now we are going to discuss about the history section of the prelims exam, and for that we have a faculty from Lukmaan IAS. Her name is Lucky Priya. So Lucky Priya, welcome to this show. Now, so let us know how was the standard of questions from the history section.
Right, so it was very doable in nature actually, and like last year and like previous year, trend were followed, and 15 questions were asked from the history section, of which there were like 7-8 questions were from modern section as usual, and there were 6 questions from ancient, and 1 question was from medieval history portion, and that too was from the previous year portion only. So it was very doable in nature. So yeah, and majorly it was majorly from textbooks only. So like you can easily solve your question if you have read the standard textbook like Spectrum, Bipin Chandra, and for ancient history, even if you have read R.S. Karma and Upendra Singh, it will be very easy to solve.
All right. Thank you for sharing your views related to history section. Now we will come back to S. Ansari sir, who is the director of Lukmaan IAS and also teaches like Indian polity section, the ethics paper for mains exam, and also he teaches public administration optional. So we will discuss with sir about, let's say, his overall take related to, let's say, how he feels the level of difficulty of the paper was, and also we will ask sir about the expected cutoff that we may expect from like in this year's paper.
See, as far as UPSC papers are concerned, any paper you can say, the prelims, mains examination. UPSC somehow takes your heart out of your body. It is like that. So even if the paper you can take that, say that the paper is not that difficult like last year prelims, but still many students did not qualify. This year paper, so it is a bit certainly on difficult side if you compare from last year. But yes, it takes your everything, you know that. The way UPSC asks questions, the range of questions, the way they ask, the way they ask the options, you can say, the statements, you can say. Everything becomes very unique about UPSC. That's why UPSC is unmatchable, you know. And it's still, let's say that a good number of students who will qualify for this, and every year they qualify. So it shows again that you have to be very thorough, systematic, comprehensive in your preparation. Because if some questions are simple questions, you can say, at the same time, some questions are very lengthy questions, very informative questions, very factual questions. Even let's say we teach and we have also studied, but when we have to see the answers, even also we also struggle for some questions that what will be the clear, let's say, answer of this question. So students are quite in pressure, we know that. In examination hall, they are quite in pressure. And in that pressure time, they have to take a call. When we are analyzing, so we can take our time.
Yes, sir.
When they are attempting, they don't have time. And in that time, they have to take their call. B option, C option, whatever. So then in that situation, you are going to make some mistakes also. Where is human? So you are going to make some mistakes. But in, let's say, overall, you have to, let's say, come somehow near to a cutoff that UPSC may have and qualify. So it's very difficult at this stage to talk on cutoff, what will be exactly. But if you see the last year's cutoff, so it can be, this is what I think the team is of view that it can be something between 80 and 85. Although in another, let's say, video, I have already given a view of 87, 88. Because seeing the nature of paper from polity side, if you see, the polity, most of the questions are doable. So that's why basically I thought it can be, or it could be something like 87, 88. But yes, even around 85, so I guess it can be safer side. That's it.
Sure, sir. Right.
So what do you think, Ashwin?
Uh, yes, the same thing. Basically, I want to highlight one thing difference from the last year paper is that last year the questions were, let's say, a kind of confusing in terms of two statements, two options. But this time, if you know, then you know. If you do not know, don't attempt the question. That was very straightforward, and I have received feedback from many of our students that so many questions were let's say factual, and I have attempted less number of questions. Will there be any problem? Let me assure you that if your accuracy is good in the questions that you have attempted, you are going to get through for sure. And similarly, the cutoff will come down as compared to last year because of such factual nature of some questions. And many students, if they attempt more than 90, I would say that there will be some negative marking. And yes, of course, there will be some exceptional students. They know the facts also, like the question that was asked in Kho. So Kho World Cup, they asked how Indian team defeated Nepal team, and they asked the score also.
It seems to be like a state public service.
Yes, and even the question chess Olympiad. So they asked Gukesh defeated, let's say, which other, let's say, sports person. So the names are asked. So it is very difficult to remember the names also, and especially those who do not follow the sports page of newspaper. And generally, we also tell students that don't follow the news the sports page because UPSC is not.
Yes, we had long back we stopped telling to the students.
Yes.
They don't ask these questions.
Yes, but this is also important that Coco.
UPSC comes back.
Yes.
History repeats.
Yes, it comes back in the last few years. They have asked World Test Championship question also, even on chess. And what was that question?
Tiger Woods was also
Tiger Woods, really, that question was there. So somehow there is tendency, and Kho World Cup was the first World Cup that was held in India, so it was important, I would say. So, and let me also give some feedback on current affairs section. Yes, current affairs questions were, a few of them were doable, sir, especially on international institutions, organizations. They asked question on BIMSTEC, they asked question on BRICS, they asked question on even NATO and its members.
So whether there were more questions from
Yes.
IR?
Yes, international organizations, 5-6 questions, sir. AI Action Summit they asked, and the BIMSTEC and BRICS Summit, NATO. So many international organization related questions. That means from current development, there should be some cue taken from this paper that international developments they are going to ask more.
Do we find more current affairs questions this year in comparison to last year?
No, sir, not more number of questions, rather the specific question that were asked, that they were very factual, that you don't attempt. And some questions, like I was telling, BIMSTEC, very easy, and even the elimination method was working there. That they mentioned Nepal as a founding member of BIMSTEC. So the name changed after Bhutan and Nepal joined. But earlier it was BISTEC. Then it was changed to BIMSTEC. So students know about this and they can eliminate that. Gandhi Peace Prize, it was elimination method that can be very useful. The panel that is used for selecting the member for award. So few questions were attemptable and few questions were like strictly no for current affairs.
We like to ask from Jainul about science and technology. He's asking to all, but he's faculty science and technology. They should also give you on science and technology. Science is always, although science is more organized, but in UPSC it is highly disorganized.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for asking questions on science and technology. Basically, this year there were 14 questions from the science and technology section, and the questions were, let's say, asked from all areas of science and technology. At least 1 or 2 questions were there from all areas. So this year we have seen questions from artificial intelligence. There are questions from, let's say, machine learning. There is question from let's say biology also. There are questions from defense technology. So questions have been asked from all areas, and the questions are framed in a very comprehensive manner. I mean, like, it's not too factual and it's not too let's say, like, logical that way. So like, it was a healthy mix of the various areas of the questions, and the level of difficulty in the paper was moderate from the science and technology section. And I would say that the paper was doable if someone was following, let's say, current affairs also, and reading science and technology from the current perspective as well. So that way the paper was doable from science and technology section. And now we have another faculty from Lukmaan IAS, Mr. Vaibhav. So he has done an analysis of the polity section of the paper. So like, welcome Vaibhav sir. So tell us about your, let's say, view or opinion related to the polity section of this paper.
So yeah, as far as the whole question paper and the analysis of polity section is concerned, I would say this was the only section in the paper which a student could have confidently handled. Most of the questions, I believe, we all prepared from the standard textbooks, and questions like pardoning power of the president, speaker, 10th schedule, 5th schedule, Panchayat, Lokpal, all these questions were doable. The interesting part.
Questions are straightforward.
Yes.
They can eliminate.
Yes, sir.
If they have read something like.
And the other interesting part which I have seen after 5 years is like they have asked about the age of various committee persons, which they have stopped asking some 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
And they were not asking such kind of age-related questions. They have asked a Panchayat question also. There was age, and in Lokpal also there was age. So these kind of questions can be easily done if any aspirant or a candidate appearing for today's examination was thorough with the standard textbook, he would have confidently handled more than 80% of the questions in polity section. Few were typical. Mineral rules was a question, but
Two questions they have asked
yes,
again.
yes. But with elimination technique, that question was also pretty much
I think
doable.
minerals were in news.
Critical
Supreme Court also gave result on that.
Yes, sir.
So minerals were in news. I guess while preparing current affairs, they may have given due attention to minerals part.
But sir, both of the match the following kind of match the pairs kind of questions. Both the questions in polity section were not supposed to be attempted in today's examination. One was related to COIR board and other different boards they were asking, and the second one was about the Enforcement Directorate and the Ministry of
There
Finance.
is a bit change in the nature of the question.
Yes,
It
sir.
has been framed. They have added role and functions also, along with which ministry it comes. So then again, if you know which ministry it comes,
Department also.
you may not be sure about the role and
Department,
functions.
Yes, yes. Apart from these two questions, I
And
would
that's also department, not ministry.
Yes, ministry knows that
Generally,
department
they
within
do
that.
ask ministry, but
It is an old pattern question.
Right.
Ask in
a new format. Yes, sir.
Yes, that we will get. So that is how UPSC comes back. So let's go to the environment section. I did like she shares a bit more insight about environment.
yes, if we compare the number of questions, this year if you see, there have been reduction in the number of the questions. 13 questions, I would say, were there typically from the environment section. But again, like I said, the pattern they are asking, that has changed a bit. And I think they did give a minute hint last year itself. There were like 2 to 3 questions from the environmental science. This year, they have enhanced that section. Although some of the questions, they were expected on the expected lines, like Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. Very much in the talks, COP28. So there have been 2 to 3 questions from the same. Means if you're following the developments, understanding them, not just mugging up, just be aware. I think that is the message what UPSC wants to give here with respect to environment. So anybody who is following the current affairs, he will be on the safer side. Traditional pattern of asking the questions from environment, completely done away with that. UPSC has taken the whole background of the technologies, the current affairs driven questions. So,
Now, I guess there are two things that we should talk. One that those who have appeared in prelims, so their course of action now.
Right,
And
sir.
second, those who are planning to appear next year, so their course of action.
Both are important.
that is more important.
Right, sir.
So we'll start from Vaibhav side because the team guides the students, you mentor the students, you have more interaction with the students, let's say. So, what do you think that, let's see, what should be their course of action, let's see, for those who are going to appear in the prelims 2026?
So for prelims 2026, much to our surprise, this year's question paper does not contain any questions from political theory, fundamental rights, DPSPs, and those parliament kind of broad segments. So this does not relate to that these major, important, significant topics will not be covered in the future examinations. They could be asked. The primary focus shall be on your standard textbooks and conceptual clarity and how to link them with the current affairs. And these are the still very much important for any aspirant to address the questions from polity section.
All right.
Yes.
So we have discussed about the nature of paper, and we have also discussed about the expected cutoff. Now we would like to discuss about, let's say, what should be the course of action for the candidates who have already attempted the paper, means like what they should do now going forward. So Ansari sir, I would like to know your views on this.
First thing is that they should, what we say that chill. And आजकल youngsters में चलता है ethics में we teach it, chill या. तो दिल के मत लो, isn't it?
बिल्कुल सर.
बट प्रीलिम्स ऐसा है कि दिल पे नहीं भी लोगे तो भी आ जाएगा.
Next 15 days they are going to be in tension.
So, because it's about attendance, it's about dream, it's about UPSC. So, even if you do not want to be serious, you become serious. So, whatever the case, if you are 80 plus, no, 80 around, you can say that if you are getting, because answer keys are already released, so many answer keys you can have, you can also check nowadays. So, they will be more authentic because of increase in level of technology in our society. So accuracy may increase this now. So answer keys will have very less subjectivity. So I guess if you check, we have also released our answer keys. If you check, it's around 80 plus 80 around. You should take a break, short break for 1 week or 2, 3 days, whatever. Take off from this UPSC cycle and then you, let's say, come back and reboost your energy, re-energize yourself. Prepare for mains examination. Chart out your plan for mains because 2.5 months you have. So, means you should plan your chart out what you are going to do. Especially, let's say your areas, if you have already written mains examination one at least once, so you know your weak areas, so you should focus on those areas. But if you are first time going to write, so two things are important. And they are also well known that one that the revision of the syllabus, whatever the main syllabus you have, adequate writing practice. Yes. And those means both you can achieve only when you are in less tension and more study. The less you think, the more you study. The more you think, the less you study. That should be your principle.
बिल्कुल सर.
Right. So we have discussed about what should be the next course of action. And so I would also like to add one important thing that at Lukmaan IAS, basically, soon after the prelims exam, we are going to start specific mains guidance program. It is known as Rankup program, basically. So we are going to help candidates to score more in the UPSC mains exam in all the papers: GS paper 1, GS paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, and also the essay paper. So for that, we have a dedicated program where we are going to help candidates to write the test regularly in our institute. Also, we are going to mentor the students. Let's say one-to-one mentorship will also happen. Classroom discussion will also happen. Model answers will be provided. Test will be taken from time to time, and we are going to guide the student through the course of the UPSC mains preparation. So the Rankup program is going to be very much beneficial for the candidates who have written the UPSC prelims exam this year and are expecting that they are going to qualify the prelims exam. So I would like our Ansari sir and Lakshmikant Jaibhai sir to add a few points related to the new the Rankup program.
Since Lakshmi also has lots of experience guiding the students, mentoring the students, so he can also share his insight that what should be the
Yes.
course of action, what are the pitfalls that the students should avoid.
Yes, sir. Yes, of course. The way you said that there are two categories of students, I would add the one more category, that those who are not going to clear, let's say there is a 10 mark, 15 mark difference that you are getting from the answer key, or let's say after result also you, let's say, somehow fail and you are going to attempt for 2026, your course of action is going to be a little bit different, because this time you have a lot of time to improve upon your mains examination preparation before starting for prelims 2026. So your strategy will be different, and yes, of course, that strategy can be discussed separately. For you can ask for mentoring session for that, but let me highlight for those students who are going to clear the prelims this time, the way Jahidul sir was talking about Rankup mains guidance program at Lukmaan IAS. Let me highlight some important points there. This program is basically classroom plus answer writing program, wherein 39 classes will be taken by the expert faculties on selected important topics, wherein we are expecting questions in mains 2025. In addition to that, there will be daily 5 questions answer writing practice before the class will be taken, and 4 questions, 4 new questions plus 1 PYQ will be there model answers will be provided, and on the same day in classroom the faculties will discuss all these questions and feedback will be given on your answer copies. That will help you enrich your answer writing and further help you getting more marks in mains examination. In addition to that, there will be total 11 full length mock test, 8 GS mock test, and plus 3 essay test will be there. And these will be conducted at the particular time period as the classes progress in this program. So this is going to help you a lot. Last year MGP student Prachi Singhal 285 rank, and she is into IRS IT, and she has benefited a lot from this program, because here the mentor is not a different, mentor is faculty, faculty is mentor for the students, and that's why the insights that you get in your answers that you are writing is going to help a lot. Fine. So
So we'll like to have some words from Sumanji. He wants to she will advise the students to make examination.
Uh, well, like sir, you said, 2 days there should be relaxation, because if you are relaxed only, then you will be ready for the next journey.
Since you interact both Viva and you daily basis, you have and you interact. So what do you read the mind of the students? Means, how do you read the mind of the students? Means what do you read in them that day? What is going on in their mind?
That depends from student to student. Like there are two category of the students. Ones, brilliant ones, they pick up things very quickly. So they need just a little bit of direction from your side. There might be some faults on their part with respect to their strategies, and at times they are also facing some mental pressure or some other kind of personal issue. So if you are able to help them with those issues, you provide them that right direction, they'll show the results. On the other hand, we have the other set of students, those they have different kind of the problems, retention related problem, the average students, yet they do have the potential. So we need to find out by talking to them if where they stand, what is their strength, what is their weakness. And I have seen that most of the students, they face problem with regard to the timetable. They're not able to follow the disciplined manner of their studies which they need, given the UPSC level, the range of questions, the topics. We say syllabus, it's just the sky, right? Everything under and above, that is the syllabus. So that also boggles them. So
See
they
that,
need guidance
yes.
with respect to the discipline which they need. You need to pull them at times regarding the studies also. That as a mentor we have to handle. So it's also helping many students, and we are very sure we'll be having many students from our courses itself.
why don't we share about Tucker program?
Yes, Tucker
Yes, we
program.
like
This
to
is
like you to share because those students, suppose we have best wishes for all the students who are there for these prelims, and they should qualify. But at the same time, we also know that many of them will not
might
qualify.
not be able to write.
So for them, since we have Tucker program and you have been basically part of that team, so how you rate Tucker program, seeing the level of UPSC, especially prelims paper now and mains lesson, how Tucker is giving Tucker to UPSC?
Well, I think we as faculties here, we are trying to really help handhold them in this preparation through our Tucker program, and I find it quite relevant given the pattern which UPSC is following these days, because intensively we are also examining the kind of the pattern, the nature of the questions, or the expected trend, right? So we can see that clearly Tucker program, the questions which are covered, the kind of discussions we are providing them, and not only that, there is this intensive mentoring on daily basis that we are ensuring them. So it's a hand holding support, and this program is really very successful. And I think it would be really beneficial for those who have taken multiple attempts, yet they face challenge in clearing the prelims. So our program, they should be joining, and I'm very sure they'll benefit.
Yes. What you will say actually, how they should plan, especially although this would not sound very negative at this stage, but truth is truth, you know that. Fact is
Sure,
fact,
sir.
whether you like it or not. This is our name said once. Right. So fact is fact. It will not change because you like or dislike.
Right.
Yes. So the fact is that yes, those who will be scoring around 80 plus, they may qualify. The fact is that those who are not, they may not.
Right.
So we have no any role in that. UPSC has the role. We don't make the judges. So
Right.
in that way, let's see if we talk about the future, let's see.
Sure, sir.
The students, because many will be watching for, let's say, future course selection.
Sure, sir.
So how you will guide them that how they should plan for 1 year, next year, 2026.
Yes. So I would say that those who are, let's say, unfortunately not qualifying this examination, consider this as a kind of blessing in disguise, because you are going to get a lot of time to prepare for your next attempt. But if you do a kind of planned studies for that, it is going to help you a lot. So we are providing you a kind of detailed plan through Tucker year-long test series program, basically. And this program is so comprehensive, so holistically preparing your all the subjects, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, prelims, CSAT, essay paper, and it includes the intensive answer writing practice from the start itself, and in a phased manner. I would say, first of all, the basic questions, and thereafter the advanced questions. And this program is designed in a manner that every kind of student benefits from it. Many students are weak in prelims. For them, from start of Tucker test series itself, we are going to have the MCQs test for prelims simultaneously with mains examination. This is a major concern that students are facing right now. You can see how the rank one last year, she said that out of 3 stages of this examination, which one you find difficult? And she said prelims, because she did not qualify in first 3 attempts.
I think now UPSC is quite maintaining, let's say, trying to maintain difference between prelims and mains.
Yes, sir, that is also.
It's
And it's
becoming
quite,
very difficult.
basically, they do not want to bring somehow overlapping between.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So their creativity, I think there is gradual divergence rather than convergence.
Yes, yes, sir. And I can see that many students who are talking to us, their answer writing is good, but they are not qualifying prelims.
Yes.
So for them it is very helpful कि आप अभी से prelims की इतनी अच्छी तैयारी करो, इतने अच्छे practice करो कि जैसे दिसंबर तक है, you are.
That is how I told her, कि prelims is something it takes your heart out of you.
Right. So yes.
This is what UPSC does. Mains, it is altogether different. Prelims, it takes our heart also. And this stage also.
Right, sir. We are also worried कि क्या पूछ लेगा कल यूपीएससी. कल रात को हम यही सोच रहे हैं. Right. So whether whatever we have taught in the classroom, whether students are going to benefit from it or not. So we are also concerned about students.
Mains is quite predictable.
Yes, the mains is predictable.
I think we can quite predict it.
Even questions.
Yes, yes, every year it happens.
Yes, yes,
Most of the questions are quite predictable. At least some pattern.
yes.
They can ask from self-help book, or they can ask from question book, they can ask from, let's say, any program or scheme you can say. It is quite predictable. Let's say the pattern is.
Yes.
The names you can just predict, but today prelims paper, if you see, so just think of how many questions you could have predicted.
Right.
Although they have asked this year again finance commission question.
Yes.
15 finance commission, and 2023 also they asked 15 finance commission question.
Yes.
But that question is quite elimination. You can, let's say, you don't need to know those statements.
Yes.
If one knows the options elimination, so one can easily eliminate that way. So yes, this is how, let's say, you should have your course of action.
So even if you plan till December your mains examination preparation, including your optional, then it is a kind of advantage to them, because next year timetable is also out, and in the same manner they are going to have very less time after prelims. So if you prepare mains examination in advance, including your optional, so I told you it is a kind of blessing in disguise. तो आप ज़्यादा छुट्टी लीजिए, एक हफ्ता 2 हफ्ते की छुट्टी लीजिए, ठीक है. Go to Vipassana, go to Rishikesh, whatever you want to do, and then come back with the full force, and then start preparing in a planned manner. We are providing you plan. Talk to us, come for mentoring, and we'll provide you, let's say, whatever the let's say majors that are required that you should take on your weak areas. कैसे उसकी तैयारी करनी चाहिए, everything we are going to provide. We have expert faculties and we are directly mentoring the students.
Yes. What will be your final words there?
So, in my view, the candidates who have made it to the prelims, I mean, like if they believe that they are in the list, like they are going to qualify, so you should start preparing for the mains as soon as possible. If you believe that your notes are not ready, if you need some brush up, if you need to improve upon something, so Rankup program at Lukmaan IAS is there. And if you want to check, let's say, how did you score? So we have already released the answer keys of the GS paper 1. It is available in all our social media platforms and also on our website. So you can check, let's say, your answers with the answer key that we have released. And these answer keys have been made by the faculties of Lukmaan IAS. So we have checked, cross-checked before releasing the answer key. So you can pretty much rely on the answer key.
Yes,
And
we have also discussion. You can watch our recorded discussion video. It will be made public. All that 100 questions have been discussed of this village paper 1. So you can also watch and clear your doubts.
right. And students, if you feel that you need some guidance how to start your preparation from now, either for the mains exam of this year or for the prelims exam of next year, or you are starting afresh, you can always contact us. Contact numbers will be shared, let's say, with you. You can visit our website, you can get the contact number, and you can meet with faculties of Lukmaan IAS before deciding your course of preparation also. So that way we are always there to support and help you in your preparation. So that will be all from our side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for joining this session and learning from the faculties how they feel about the paper. What should be your next course of action? So all of these have been shared by the faculties. And before we move ahead, I would just request Ansari sir to share his suggestion for the candidates who have written the UPSC prelims exam, and so how they should go forward about their preparation.
I'll tell, already we had lots of discussion. I will tell only 3 things. First, that there is no shortcut in UPSC, which we always say. And second is that you must have hard work, smart work, whatever you can say. You should never run away from hard work. And third is that you should never give up. That is what the 3 things I will try to give as a message. Be it whatever, means today you have done whatever, let's say, positive, negative. If it is positive, it is good. We have also, let's say, best wishes for that. And we can help in mains examination. You can join our various courses for mains examination to improve your marks. And if you are not clearing it, still we have best wishes for next year. And in that case, we have more empathy with you because you will be, let's say, quite an emotional, let's say, shock and pressures, whatever you can consider. So if you are not getting through this, and if you have attempts, you should not give up. This is how you should know. Because there are students who have failed to qualify prelims, but still they have made in the final list. So all the best of luck.
So indeed, that was a very fruitful discussion by all the faculty members at Lukmaan IAS. Thank you once again, viewer, for watching this discussion. We hope you have a great day ahead, and also we hope all the best to you for your future.